It has always been this way. It's like when this big meltdown happened and they gave all the money, they gave out all the bailout funds, and Goldman Sachs is still giving out billions in compensation to its upper tier because that's the culture, right? Again, like, it's not some big conspiracy. It's just the way things are. And, even a trivial investigation will reveal that. I don't know why, people don't, I guess people just don't want to think about it or something. Why is it always such an incredible pain in the ass to do things with bookmarks? It either acts as a cursor or anyway. Still don't understand why it's so freaking. I have to delete these one thing at a time as opposed to being able to select a bunch of them without accidentally activating them and throwing me into a new freaking window. All right, let's go from the top because it's always going to take me back here anyway. What was this? Something in Norwegian. Oh, I think this was right. That's a paranormal thing. Yeah, there was this weird object photographed in the sky above Norway, a major city in Norway, anyway. And everybody was saying that it was, well, again, the skeptical side was saying it's what is it? I always find their explanations kind of ridiculous, but it was like light bouncing off of it was what they call an iridium flare. It was basically light bouncing off a certain type of satellite. And in some cases that might make sense, but this was taken from multiple different angles. And here it is. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them on it. So, right. And I gotta say, I actually found, I went through all the different links and I found a whole bunch of different examples of people photographing similar stuff, which you might, say, well, that just means that it's all, it's all just, okay, that's been gone, all right, deleted. Yeah, anyway, I guess I'll just delete all these. It was an interesting one, but it actually looks like, I can't remember. Anyway, no. I think I'm going to have to give this up after an hour. My freaking voice is going. Oh, that's why. It's one of the meds I'm on is a muscle relaxant, and it gives me super duper dry throat, which is just amazing and wonderful. Anyway. Sun Halo over Cambodia. Right. Yeah, there are a lot of completely weird effects, like sun dogs and various Halo type things that have completely legitimate explanations, but they do look pretty amazing. The problem is, of course, again, like the problem is that not everything is just something normal like that. But people don't accept that. Alabama politicians have formed a task force dedicated to fighting NASA's new plan to cancel the costly Constellation/Ares program, which is largely based in Alabama. Big surprise. Been reading about that in a bunch of different places. Basically, there's a bunch of these various NASA type things that the construction and manufacturing is based in certain states. So you have these senators who otherwise, make fun of NASA, make fun of liberals, make fun of, big talking, big brain, 50-cent word people. But when it comes to time to eliminate the rocket construction in their home state, whoa, we gotta we gotta think twice before limiting that vital science, funding, especially when it, employs people in my state. Not really a particularly fascinating or worthy of discussion. Just your typical lousy politics. Sorry about all the coughing here, but this dry throat is killing me. Every now and again, Google does something to make me fall in love with them all over again. I think this was some little Google feature about, what was it? It was something pretty handy. Oh, that was it. It was something like if you forget an attachment. Basically, you mention attachment somewhere in your message, but you don't actually attach something. Google goes, did you have an attachment you wanted to attach there, buddy? And it's like, that's a great feature. That's, you can't really argue with that. And Google is like that. Google puts those out. It's always doing stuff like that, which is why people are, pleased to do things for Google. Wow, 46 minutes. And we've gotten through quite a few of these things, actually. A lot of the ones I've got left are astronomical ones. High-tech research moving from the U.S. to China. I really don't remember about that, except that China is a rising power, and you can expect more and more stuff like that as they, YouTube was evil and Google knew it. What is that one about? I think that one has something to do with, oh, right. Google knew that it had pirated content when it bought YouTube, and they bought it and continued the pirating. Well, again, whatever. Showing clips of different things that doesn't, it's idiotic. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's basically free advertising. Let's see. So delete that. Delete that. Google exiting China, it sucks just as much as censorship does. I just remember that my main comment on that was the whole thing about, Google got attacked by some Chinese hackers, and eventually they decided to close up their Chinese shop and move out and this and that and a bunch of other things. And again, I just thought, my main thought from that was just the usual thing when politics are involved, which is you can't win. It's like you do one thing, you're criticized for this. You do the other thing, you're criticized for that. Like, whatever, Doesn't really matter. Let's keep going. Die Glock. Well, that's a weird one. Let's mention that. German for the Bell was the name of a purported top-secret Nazi scientific technological device. And it was only mentioned by one guy, da-da-da-da. But it does sound cool. It's like a great big bell. Had something to do with radiation. Had a big structure, almost like a little, the henge, the fly trap. It's almost like a little Stonehenge, da-da-da-da-da. And look it up anyway. It's called Die Glock on Wikipedia. But it does sound like your classic kind of, super science, dimensional warping kind of device. Anyway, really, very little direct evidence for it, of course. Let's see. Delete. Let's see. These are all astronomy. Less talk, more rock. That was a good little thing from Boing Boing. That was from a couple of game designers. And they were just talking about, this could be I could talk about that forever, but they were just talking about how in games you want things to happen. You know what I mean? You don't want to, do you want to do this? Yes. How about that? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Talking menus, I can play, I got more, I find things like an old game like Ultima 4 or Ultima 5, from 25 years ago, are vastly more interesting, more compelling than modern games. Like, modern games are just kind of it's like there's more flash, there's more flashy graphics, but there's very little interactivity, there's very little sense of wow, that's just a classic old man's rant, but oh, that was another point there, and they said that was the main point